Coach, first and foremost, how much do you know about Provo, Utah?
I was in the mighty Pocatello, Idaho, for a few moons. My kids were actually born there. I was up at Idaho State, so I know of it. Attended, some games there. Actually, my first trip there was a professional development, and Lavelle Edwards came up. I'm actually taller than him, and I've never had somebody punch me so hard on my right arm. I was sore for a week. How you doing, Coach? Thanks for coming down. I'm like, come on, Coach, you're a legend. How you doing? True story.
What were your impressions of Coach Edwards, other than the impression he left in your arm?
I grew up Lavelle Edwards. There was a legend of coaches in college, and he was one of them. And meeting him to me was, that was as cool as it got. And then I actually ran into him once. I think it was Hong Kong. I was over there. My brother still is in Tokyo. And in the middle of nowhere, I ran into him and his wife, and it was like, are you kidding me? Nobody else knew him, because we were the only ones that spoke the language, so we talked to him there for a bit. But very impressed. He's a legend. What else can you say?
Yeah, unforgettable experiences for a number of reasons you had with Lavelle Edwards. Jerem mentioned to you before we began this interview that he grew up in the Portland area, and he wanted me to ask you if you could bring us some voodoo donuts.
You know what? I'm writing this down now, Jeremy. So I don't have anything else to worry about. Don't worry. But you know what? You might get some box of voodoo donuts. When am I going to see you guys? Game day?
Game day.
We'll be there.
Yeah, I'll be handing you a $20 bill, and you'll be handing me some donuts.
They'll be dry as a bone, but you know what? I'll go get the donuts with Cheerios on them.
Exactly, and a piece of bacon and random stuff. So week 0 game here on ESPN. Portland State on ESPN. BYU excited about that as well. What are your thoughts about this matchup in the earliest game in Portland State football history?
It is. The matchup, if you're a tote board guy in Vegas, we don't have a chance, but these, quote, money games for us, they're exciting all around. We have, in the past couple of years, we did sneak up on a couple people, but we're going in there, guys, Spence, Jeremy. I'm just going to make sure we don't lose that game before we play it. I'm going to make them beat us, underdog or not, and see where we're at in the fourth quarter, because that's what I tell them in all these games. If we're close in the fourth quarter, we're going to make a run.
You say snuck up, maybe on Washington State, but North Texas 66-7. I don't think that qualifies as sneaking up on an FBS team.
You know what though? I think we went in at half up 45 goose, and I was still nervous as a squirrel in church. I was. Everybody's celebrating. I'm coming out and go, guys, no, they can still catch us. They're FBS, we're FCS. And luckily, we come out the next drive, and we scored right away. So then I started kind of emptying the bench.
I'm just thinking about a squirrel in church, I'll be honest. I just have that visual.
That term,
I just have that visual. I would be nervous if I was a squirrel there. Now, I wish that Alex Caressa had one more year of eligibility. That would have been a fun storyline, but you're going to bring him out as an honorary captain. What went into that choice? The former BYU receiver.
Alex and I joked about that all last year. Once we knew that we were playing, going to have the opportunity to play BYU, but I did. I called him up, made him an honorary captain. I just thought it would be, a kick for everybody. Just an enjoyable way to enjoy the pageantry of college football Saturday at Provo.
Your starting quarterback now is a freshman, Jelani Eason, a dual-threat guy like Alex Caressa. What did he do to impress you in camp so much so that you said, okay, you're the guy?
It shocked me. I've never seen that from a true freshman. His poise, his playmaking abilities. He takes care of the football, knock on wood. He can run. He fits our package perfect. And usually you get a freshman, and you put him in that role, and he's kind of a snot-nosed, a little green, but he took it over. He knows the system, and I'm out there going, wow. He impressed us, and he kept doing it. So, your first game as a true freshman going against BYU, not what you want if you're, writing the book, but he's going to see, here's how I see him. He's going to see speed BYU, Speed Oregon State, bye week, and then he's going to get into where I have to win football games to get to the playoffs. And I'm hoping, in my mind, that's going to slow the game down for him so much that we'll make a run through the FCS.
What sticks out about BYU to you?
Legends. I mean, from where do you want to start? We already talked about Lavelle. McMahon. Jim McMahon was when I was getting into college football. I kind of made the turn from the Steelers and following Lambert and the Steel Curtain, and then I'm saying, hey, I'm actually going to play college football. Somebody's giving me a scholarship, so I started following it because my dad, I had no connection. I was a service brat, and college football was new to me. But then I started reading up on it and watching it more, and you can go through. We don't have time to go through the list of names. Ty Detmer. I'm going to be coaching against one. I feel like, walking over pregame and getting some autographs, to be honest. If you look at their staff.
Portland State head football coach Bruce Barnum with us on BYU Sports Nation. We don't know who the legends will be for this year's team per se. A lot of people think it might be quarterback Tanner Mangum at some point. What's your number one concern about facing this year's BYU team?
I said it before on an interview about your football team, Monsters of the Midway. You add the maturity, the mission side of it. They're bigger, stronger athletes than not just mine. I think probably just about everybody else they play. They rival unless you get an SEC and Saban who's paid gazillion dollars for his recruiting budget, but. Everybody wants to go to BYU. BYU, it's a destination for nationwide for everybody involved in the LDS church. That's how the recruiting is not easy, but I think they have a lot of choices that other people don't, and they do a nice job, feeding that and bringing guys and then putting them on mission and getting that mission line going, and they're a strong football team.
You went to the playoffs 2 years ago. Last year was more of a rebuilding year. But what do you expect from your group this season, Coach?
Again, I want a product that you're going to see on the football field that runs smooth, that plays hard, and doesn't give up. I mean, we lost 5 games in the fourth quarter last year with a bunch of I played 7 true freshmen. So I love my team. I love how they're together. I love the leadership. And it's college football Saturday. I preach to them. Anything can happen.
What's the number one strength of your team right now?
Strength. That's a good one. Because we're kind of we're an island of misfit toys. I'm high school guys and some transfers, and I bring this group together. All the global diversity people on every campus should just look at how we meld this group together because they do play as one. I have no stars. What I'm looking for, I'm curious about, is who's going to be a star because guys are going to rise to the occasion, and I don't know who it's going to be. That's kind of who we are right now.
Coach, it's been great to talk to you. We have thoroughly enjoyed it, and
I look forward to those voodoo donuts.
Awaits his voodoo donuts.
You're killing me. I'm going to send somebody down there just for you, Jeremy. Go PDX. Go Vikes.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we'll see you over there.